school days, my uncle used to visit our home often. He knows very well that I am an average student. But still, he will ask some embarrassing, bitter question. What percentage mark you scored in the exam? I used to use sarcastic answer. The worst part is, he will start boasting about himself. When I was at your age, I never scored less than 80% in any exam, in any subject, and followed by loads and loads of advice. I used to think, why all elders have the same set of questions? After some years, I could find the reason. Generation gap. Good afternoon, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Last week, one of my friends came to my home along with his son. I asked his 11-year-old son, how's your school going? He looked at me as if I should have never asked him something. I patted myself that I was better. I used to give some answers. The gap is widening generation by generation. At least 80% of the school-going children, parents are like aliens from other planets altogether. Strangers forced to live under the same roof. A big gap between Gen X and Gen Y. Generation gap is due to attitude or lack of understanding between older and new generation. The gap has always existed, but these days it reached to an explosive stage. The values and patterns of life have changed to a great extent. Today everybody wants to live and behave on their own ways. This gap widens the generation gap, which is difficult to erase. Not only in the family, but also it impacts on environment and lifestyle. In olden days, getting food was a problem, was a trouble. But now, food itself is a trouble. I started my career working with 503 computer with MS-DOS operating system. I really enjoyed programming on Fox Pro, Pascal, COBOL, and Fortran, and tools like WordStar and Lotus Mondesi. I love to research and explore the things. But now, I don't need to explore anything. Everything is available in abundance. In those days, I used 5/4-inch floppy extensively. Does anyone know what is the capacity of this?
1.44.
1.2 MB. But now, 8,000 such floppies can be compressed into one single tiny pen drive. Our generation gap in workplace, I don't need to explain. You would have mastered to tackle it if your lead or managers are much elder to you. In the company I worked with, my project manager was about 15 years elder to me. He never used mouse to program in Visual Basic. He used tab key excessively. And also he preached to me not to use mouse. Use the mighty keyboard, young man. I used to whisper. Mouse is mightier than the keyboard, he will say. But if you look closer, elders are right sometimes. We do not have answers for some questions they pose. A 20-year-old boy was walking along the riverside. As he saw an old man sitting, he thought to pass time talking with him. As he was talking, he was started blaming older generation. Why can't you people understand us? Why is it impossible for your generation to understand our generation? He was trying to give so many facts. You grew up in a different world, which is almost primitive. There was nothing. And he continued. But now, today's young people grow with television, jet planes, space travel, man walking on the moon. We have nuclear energy, and we have ship, and many more. After a brief silence, the senior citizen responded, "Yes, my son, we didn't have those things when we were young. So we invented them. But you little arrogant boy, what are you doing for the next generation? It is a fact of life that the generation gap or a clash has always existed and it will continue to exist as long as man exists on the earth. It is not constrained to certain part of the world or certain times of human history or certain culture. That is why this clash is a fact of life accepted by all generations all over the world through all time. So generation gap is something to learn and grow, not to crib or frustrate upon. Over to you.